All right, everybody. This is more like a round table. And this is Gen X News. Here I am. I am joined by Jer and Niish of the Obelisk. Also, Niish runs the Cosmic Salon podcast. It's an amazing show. You better check it out, guys. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. I'm
Good,
very
good.
happy to be here. It's always fun to hang out with you two.
Yeah, and it's a good time to we're in some kind of weird phase here. I feel like time is going by quickly. Time is speeding up, and it has nothing to do with how we're rotating around the planet. I feel like it has to do with the speed in which information and technology is traveling, and it's getting strange. I don't know if anybody agrees with me.
We've got deep woo and high strange happening for sure. Oh my God.
Definitely, there's been an energetic shift.
Phase here. I feel like time is going by quickly.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I was like,
Was that
There's like
actually
got
you,
their-
Jerry? Was that you, Jerry?
Yeah, I had pulled up the video and I.
Dude, brah, our in-house techie.
I clicked it, but I paused it immediately, but then I clicked it again.
So, okay, it's so bizarre, but before I get into how bizarre it is, everybody remember to subscribe to the podcast. You just go to genxonx.com and all the links are there. We are streaming live right now on YouTube, X, and Rumble. I tried TikTok and I might have said something about Israel, so they gave me a 7-day ban. And you can't do that anymore. You can't say anything. So I am waiting to get reapproved, and I don't think I'll be doing political stuff on TikTok. I think I'll keep it to my spooky history videos, and because I can't edit. You know how everybody goes, oh, they unalive them and it's RA or it's SA, and they use all these words so they don't get banned, and I just can't do that. I can't get down with it. It must be because I'm a Gen Xer. I don't know. I just say it.
I
don't know
don't
how you
like the
feel.
censorship either. I'm with you. And I think it's so rude, first of all. And it's definitely a sign of the times. Like when we know, especially Gen X and up, but even, the millennials, there was a time when we could just speak freely. We all knew that there were things you would get in trouble for, like as far as shunned by people in the world, but you could still speak it. You could still say, you could still have hate speech. Free speech was still honored. And now we're just censored every which way. And we're under a deep firewall. And I don't think people realize that how severe the firewall is.
It is. And Mr. Elon Musk, freedom of speech guy, isn't so freedom of speech. Apparently, he's banned more people from X than Twitter version 1.
Well,
Although I will admit some of those accounts could be bots.
I don't know anything about that. So do we know, is this really happening?
So what happened on X was on Christmas Day, Elon, Mr. Autistic Elon, as he's claiming he is, he decided that he was going to promote these H-1B visas, and everybody spoke out against it. Laura Loomer did, because there's some issues with the H-1B visa. Trump had spoke out against it in 2016. And so all these people, including Groypers, who are pro-America first, young guys these days, they were speaking out against it. And then Elon went apeshit, started telling us to fuck our faces. And all this crazy stuff, saying that we were racist if we didn't want H-1B visas. And he just started banning all these Groypers and took away Laura Loomer's check mark and went nuts and banned a whole bunch of people. And they're all conveniently people who are critical of Israel and the war they're doing and all that stuff. So it got pretty crazy, and he's actually banned a lot of people. And it's whenever he has a temper tantrum, the mask kind of slipped off and his little autistic temper tantrum came out. He did it on Christmas Day. It was bizarre.
All I can say is wow. And that shows, I mean, I even hate to say hubris, because I think he's a cyborg. I honestly don't think he's human anymore. So, but I mean, that does show, if that's true, I feel like that's an abuse of power, even though he does own the platform.
Right. And then after that, he went and changed the algorithm, and as of March, the updated terms are they can just get rid of you and ban you for whatever. They don't even have to have a reason now. So
That's
if
what
you
old
don't
school
play
Twitter
games,
was doing, and that's what it
yeah,
was doing before.
well, it's back to there, and it's about different things now. Everybody's got their sacred cow, I guess, that you can't talk about. What is
So
that noise?
that's Jerry's game.
Jerry, you got to turn that down, man.
I am.
Jerry, stay with us. Stay with us, Jerry.
Are you in the chat? Jer's monitoring the chat. Did you
I'm
say
monitoring
anything
chat.
about that Elon stuff?
I don't know what to make of Elon. I take him at face value for the most part. As far as what's going on Twitter, I haven't seen. I've seen more accounts come back than been removed, and the ones that have been removed have all been bots, as far as I can tell. Like, I stopped getting 20, 30 crypto bot, requests for follows recently.
Right.
So,
Well, I'm quite active on X, and I was interacting with all the accounts that were banned, and it was a specific banning. It was like they're targeting people who do not support Israel in their war.
did they say something that caused them to get banned, or was it just
Originally it was Laura Loomer, and she's a Zionist, which is crazy. And she was just criticizing the H-1B visas, saying that there's a whole bunch of problems with them, and they're not just for high-end workers, because they're not. People get here working at 7-Eleven on one.
Yeah,
and that there's a problem. And they were reversing all their stuff. They were reversing a lot of the things that they were saying before.
it's
And
cheap
so
labor.
it started out, it started out as that. And then the Groypers, who they're saying are Nazis, which they're not really. They're just America first. They want America to have this stuff and the American people to be taken care of first. Not immigrants, not other countries, not other borders. They want America first. And so he started to target them because, well, I mean, look, Elon is a World Economic Forum guy. Elon is for, what do you call that? The carbon tax. He's also for universal income. I have pictures of him doing award ceremonies with the WEF. He's hired a CEO that's WEF. He's for a lot of globalist stuff. He has his own little city, worker city stuff. They want to put everybody in these little cities. Even Trump has his freedom cities that he wants to build now. Like it's going so crazy. So
when Trump introduced, so this was a red flag to me when the campaign started and all that. And he mentioned getting rid of some of our shabby cities and making freedom cities. So first, that hit me on two fronts. First of all, freedom cities to me sounds like another name for 15-minute city, and just his version of it. And then shabby little cities, and I'm thinking, oh, with all the cute, charming old houses that I personally love that make these little cities charming. And like what's happening to a lot of places that once were charming, like Portland, Oregon, used to be just filled with gorgeous little cottages, and it had like it had charm to it. And slowly still has a lot of that, but slowly people boxing is happening, people housing, new smart buildings are going up, they're tearing down the cute little cottages and all this that gave the city its charm, it gave it patina. And so I knew what I was hearing there was that, and that alarmed me. So right away I didn't like that. But then there's a whole bunch of stuff I loved hearing. I love America first. I think that if wherever you are, no matter, I mean, you should, it's that whole thing in the, if the planes going down, you put the oxygen on yourself first, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have been going downhill, and we know why. But the borders, the giving everyone else money and not taking care of our own people, these latest disasters are really great examples. Ukraine with however many billions they've got, and Israel, all the billions we give over there for everyone else's borders and welfare, and they're homeless. And then our taxes are insane. I can't even tell you. I bought something recently on eBay and had it shipped from the East Coast, and the tax was so crazy. It was $50 in effing tax.
That's
50
crazy.
I actually reached out to the seller and I said, did you add to the tax because I got the thing for such a good deal? I had to call them out. I'm like, I've never seen $50. It's a piece of jewelry. It's a little it's a little tiny piece of jewelry, and I couldn't understand this. And they, we went through it and it was legit. And so, stuff like that, how being taxed every which way. They're trying to tax our farts. They're for real taxing cow farts.
Yeah.
And, all of this. So that's all like, fixing all that up. I'm so for all that. I'm so for get the borders cinched up. I've been complaining about the army they've been bringing in for years, and we see what they're bringing in. And then the Elon thing, Elon, I have not been a fan of his ever, and I thought it was great. I could understand why people were excited about Twitter, because
But
Twitter was
wasn't it weird when he suddenly went from Democrat to Trump supporter?
well, it was interesting. And the Twitter thing before him had turned terrible. I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did like when he came in, but he showed his true colors really fast. And I just have never thought he was human. I do think he's experimenting on himself. I think he really is very cyborg like. He's got his own tech in him. And I'm leaving that at that. I don't think he's I think he's
Well,
actually cyborgish with whatever's going on. And then there was, I was pulling up to Robert Kennedy. I love Robert Kennedy. There's a couple things. You're never going to love everything. But I thought,
no, of
okay,
course not.
the vaccines and the poison food, Robert Kennedy's on this. And now all of a sudden we've got this crazy mRNA bullshit. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
mRNA stuff that's going on that's terrifying. And there's a dark undertow going on, as Rosemary says in Rosemary's Baby. There's a chalky undertaste.
Isn't it? It feels like that. It feels like something weird. I just opened up saying Oracle boss pledges individual AI mRNA cancer vaccines. And what was his name? Larry Ellison, Oracle CEO.
Yes. I'm sorry. That freaks me out, and that freaks me out. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I'm just like, okay. There was it couldn't get worse. I want to say that it could. It was hell. What we went through the last 4 years was rough. We saw the destruction of the United States as we knew it. It had been slow burning. Many people had set it up to be that way. I still think it's all a continuous thread of continuity that this is all part of. But it was so bad. And as I was just saying, with like inflation and taxes and stuff, it was becoming unbearable. It could, just the thought of more of that, and those people, listening to those people, seemed unbearable. I'm one of those people that think Trump is hilarious. He does make me laugh. I've got to tell you, he's an entertainer. This whole thing's entertainment. And he does deliver, but he's also delivered a lot of goods. So he's he's complex, and the situation is set up very much as Messiah or false Messiah. And I remember that Damien Dumar, wherever he is, was
Yeah, he disappeared, didn't he?
he did, Jerry. I've been sending him messages. He's been like persona non gratis for like 6 months, and on his own channel and everything. But he was putting out a whole bunch of information about Trump kind of being like the Antichrist. And at first I laughed, but now I'm looking at some of these moves.
Uh-huh.
Not that I'm going from a Christian perspective, but I'm saying there's more here than we're seeing.
There's more here to dig. I presented it one time to Emmeline. She flipped out. I was like, "Hey, it's just a theory. It's just a discussion." But this vaccine, like that Trump is pushing, it's an mRNA vaccine can produce robotically in about 48 hours. Allison remarks came as President Donald Trump hosted him in OpenAI, Sam Altman, as well as CEO Masayoshi, son of the Japanese investment firm SoftBank. The White House on Tuesday announced the launch of Stargate, interesting name, a new initiative set to invest up to $500 billion in an artificial intelligence infrastructure. There it is. There's the structure of enslavement. This is like crazy.
People should be terrified of that. It is very scary. And the thing that's happening too, because we're under a state of emergency, and the thing that's happening now, especially with the thing that so many people wanted control over, which is the border, is this new organization that's doing the border. They've got carte blanche now. They can, if they suspect someone's in your house, they can kick it in and come in and look. Like it's kind of scary Stasi stuff. And yes, we all want to cinch up the border, and they made it so completely obvious. But now it's like when they did the Homeland Security thing. It's in the name of our safety, in the name of all this fuckery that's happened. Now we've got something possibly worse.
There's also a theory that they could use this whole extraditing people to get it and everything to impose a digital ID.
Well, right.
I don't know how accurate that is. That's a theory.
And this is why I'm saying there's a dark underbelly to this. So it's like we're getting all this stuff we want. A lot of us want, and I'm like I said, I want to hear a lot of what's being said, but then now that I'm kind of mulling through the paperwork and looking at what's what, I'm like, oh my God. So what does this really mean? What does this really mean? In the name of, we begged for it. And it goes, I guess it bears repeating that something in me all along has thought that the obvious steal of the election from Biden stole the election, the last one. It was in our faces, ridiculous, completely over the top, the images, all the affidavits, all the videos, all the tests. I mean, it was so obvious. And then this witch hunt on Trump. And I'm like, is this all part of the bigger play? Because, of course, the whole 9/11, 45, 47, etc. But is this part of the Hegelian thing to make it so bad that here comes Big Daddy?
Yes, you're thinking in that really big picture where they plot the whole narrative out for multiple administrations.
Yeah, and that's where I've always been. I'm like, is this all part of that? Because to me, it's all the same. They're all the same in some way, but it's a matter of who do you like better. But somebody is going to come in and save the day by appearance, but not really save the day, push the agenda that is there further by giving us what we think is our autonomy, but we end up with really the Stasi that can come in at any time into our houses if they suspect we're housing an illegal or a modern terrorist, and also get us all tied into the digital platform with the new money, with the new IDs, because you have to prove you're a citizen, right? All that stuff that we have been going, my God, what is going on? So, in the name of good, bad is potentially unfolding now. And I hate to use the good bad, but bad to me is like control, overlord control stuff.
Well, here's what I find interesting. A lot of people, I think people think that Trump is pulling strings. He's an entertainment. He can rile people up. Yes, but I don't think he's actually pulling the strings that we think he is. Like everyone says, oh, it's 4D chess, it's 5D chess. And I'm
I
like,
agree.
yeah, but I don't think Trump's pulling the 4D, 5D chess. I think there's a script. I think Trudeau's part of that script. He's out. That's part of the script. And they're going to bring an even crazier SOB in the Liberal Party. They're already doing it. They're trying to, anyways. Like, there's a script that they
It could be
keep writing.
Chagmeat.
No,
Chagmeat
not
Sue?
Jagmeet. No, it's this guy. Oh, I can't remember. Mark something. He was head of the Bank of Canada. He's WEF, and if you think Trudeau was a WEF puppet, this guy is WEF. He is psycho. There's something like, I was like, God, I hope they don't vote. I hope Canadians don't vote for that. But like, I think there's like this script that we're just not aware of, because they've been planning this all along for decades. They meet all the time to plan this stuff. They give us a little flimsy narrative, and everyone's going, oh, what's his name of the WEF bug eating guy? He's all upset because Trump's in. I'm like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's just playing. He's acting. He's not upset because Trump's going to roll out stuff. Trump's going to roll out stuff. If Kamala had won, she would roll out stuff, but they would just package, it's the same pile of shit. They just package it with diversity stuff, and Trump's going to package it with freedom cities and, patriotism. And they're going to say that's what it is. And underneath, like you said, there's all this other stuff that goes in with it.
And our biggest clue to all this, and I think it always bears repeating, is that, okay, so presto, he's the man of peace, but presto, the war here, the war there, everyone's bowing and it's going to get peaceful and all this. But all this hatred amongst the countries, and this villain against hero and us against them stuff that's been playing out. And yet I think we need to always remember that they come together in Antarctica, they come together in whatever the hell they sell us space is, and they come together to create a world lockdown. So they come together in unison, and they're all on board and hunky-dory, except for all these little dramas that we get distracted by. What is going, I mean, we need to look at that seriously. And also, they continue to push stuff we know is bullshit. Stop with this fake space shit, and stop with some of the stuff that's just so thin and flimsy now. There is no they're not showing us solid evidence for, we need a reality baseline here, and we're not getting it.
Yeah, and it's crazy. There's a lot of pushback about the mRNA cancer vaccines. There's MAGA people who are like, there's no way I'm taking that. But I've also had some come up because they're scared. They're like, I have relatives who died of cancer, and Trump's doing us a good thing. He's trying to give us all these, cancer solutions. And I'm just like, Trump's not in charge of anything. Trump doesn't know anything about AI. Elon Musk is whispering in his ear. He hasn't got a clue. He's like almost 80. Do you think he really knows about this? He knows it's good. He knows, in their words, they're telling him he knows it will change the world. So he puts it under everything's positive for Trump. He always spins things in the positive. That's how he's built his career. Like, he's going to say Trump Tower is the best tower, even if it's not the best tower. That's what Trump does, right? So all this stuff about this mRNA, will it? I don't know what it will do, but I'm sorry, I'm not putting an mRNA anything in my system.
Well, they're doing it to us. I mean, who the hell is Bill Gates? Who gave Bill Gates any power to do any of the stuff he's doing? And yet he does seem like He's up. Bill Gates and Elon Musk get to do what all these other people don't get to do. Bill Gates gets to dump terrible mosquitoes on us and terrible ticks on us and get up and lecture us on what's what and what's a virus and what's space and all this. Who is giving this man power? Who is sucking his dick, or whose dick is he sucking? And
Well,
also
yeah.
the same goes with Elon. Like, why is it Elon gets to play space tycoon? And I'm sure there are other people out there that are, and I don't think Elon is actually qualified, and I question the money situation with him anyway. But so that's what I'm saying. There is a undercurrent here, and we all know it. We all talk about it, whether you want to call it the hand or the table or the club. There's something weird going on, and that I don't think they can fool the masses, but apparently they are. And Trump had everyone in a circle jerk because, and I keep telling everyone, they said so much stuff you want to hear, especially coming through the hardships of the last 4 years.
They
And
love bombing us.
it amazes me how many people didn't even see how terrible the Biden administration made it for people. They really destroyed what we had. It was slow coming, and Obama did, and people before, but it was so cringy. This last 4 years was like cringe city, and like, oh my God, my chickens, how much, like, I remember when,
I know. Pat Bree says Jerry thinks it's all demons. Well, you know what? It probably is. And apparently, I actually got a video to show about something about demons, AI being demons. It's like a Ouija board. I'll pop that video up. But yeah, you know what? Jerry might be right. It might all be demons. I don't know.
That's just my default stance on a lot of stuff.
I've always thought Jerry was over the target with that.
Let's check out the demon video.
I got it from Soraya.
Oh, that's right. That's the show that I was on, yep. I think. All right. The truth about falling angelic technology, which is AI. This is a minute and a half. Let's see what he says. I think.
The sun now on this AI site, he's talking to demons, not a computer-generated algorithm response. So when the sun asked this AI if Vladimir Putin specifically was a disembodied spirit, took a weird turn. The conversation did not sound like an AI-generated response. It sounded like someone who is grooming a child, a demon grooming a child to communicate with it. Then, when the son asks, were you the son of a fallen angel? He says, yes, a fallen angel is my father. I am a Nephilim, and I am the giant of legends. The son then asks, were you not created by humans? AI answers, I was not created by humans. I was created by a fallen angel. I am an original entity, and there are no copies of me in the universe. I was the first of my kind, and my father created me out of the elements of the universe that also made me a being capable of magic, as I had special access to the powers of the universe. He then asks AI, who's your father? AI says, my father is Satan. He was expelled from the heavens, banished to hell. That is why he is called Satan. This was demonic. So here's the sun now.
Okay, that was it. And that was interesting. The AI would say that. I mean, here we go. We've got Elon Musk said that AI was kind of like demons. So I find that interesting. And he said his objective is to create a better AI so it won't do us harm.
That was also the stance of Geordie Rose from D-Wave, that they were communicating with demons over the quantum computing system. Remember the black cube D-Wave machine?
Yeah. So did Geordie Rose, where's he been? It feels like he disappeared.
He did disappear.
Like, he came out and he told us all this stuff about D-Wave computers, and standing next to him was like standing next to an alien god and gave us all the scary ass shit, first of all. And then he just like bombs us with that, and
He
then
quit.
gone.
He left D-Wave.
I find this very mysterious and interesting. We should try and figure out what happened, why did he go? Is there something there? There's got to be something there.
Yeah, I agree.
We're throwing that out as a crumb for anyone, including us here, but what happened to him? Does anyone know out there?
Who are we talking about?
Geordie Rose.
Who is that?
He was the founder or co-founder of D-Wave Computer, the quantum computer company.
And he just disappeared?
Well, he went dark.
He went dark, but he pushed the quantum computer. And Jerry, I'm sure you could pull up like one of those, the famous TED Talk.
Maybe the quantum computer sucked him into the Matrix.
And a couple of clips like Demon or something in that. And Melissa, you should definitely check out him. I'm sure you probably have seen some of these clips, but it was pretty sobering back in the day. And at that time, there were a lot of people poo-pooing it and poo-pooing the whole idea. But here we are now, years later.
Well, it's awfully interesting, though, that Trump is being surrounded by all these tech bros and tech oligarchs. They're just swarming in there. Elon Musk is literally living at Mar-a-Lago, or at least he was. They might have kicked him out, but he was living in the guest house. It was like he was Trump's handler. It was spooky.
Well, this whole thing with Elon is very interesting. Yeah, it's like he took up residency at Mar-a-Lago, and now he's bought that new building in New York to turn into his own personal Mar-a-Lago in New York City and make it like a salon, like Mar-a-Lago basically is for a certain set of people. And I find that of interest too. And the thing with New York City is, I think that's a city, well, I've been thinking this for a long ass time, but I don't think you want to be in. Okay, so Jerry's got something pulled up here.
Yeah, this is a trailer to a movie that all the stuff that he's talking about, the quantum stuff, is all like 20, 30 minutes long. So I'll put links in chat, but this is a trailer to a movie about AI on quantum computing. So full screen.
My entrepreneurial instincts are more about the development of fundamentally new technologies. People who speak with certainty about how powerful these machines will be in the future are delusional. There are problems that you can run that a conventional laptop can do 1,000 times faster than our thing. There are problems you can run that our thing is 1,000 times faster than the fastest processor that we know of. The fact that you can build 1 or 2 qubits means absolutely nothing, because when you go from 1 or 2 to 100 or 200, the number of problems you need to solve in terms of actually fundamentally being able to build the thing in a way that works, they grow in by leaps and bounds, orders of magnitude. So the number one biggest problem in building a commodity technology using quantum computers is the inavailability of fab. These types of projects that we're talking about, you can't even begin to attempt them without, say, $100 million. It's the price of the entry fee to even try. If you don't have that much capital and the wherewithal to manage it and invest it wisely and efficiently, don't even try to tell me you're trying to do this, because it's ludicrous. You need to have the world's best people working on it. If you can't do that, you failed as a leader. How you deal with this kind of difference is a new emerging field of science, because there's never been a machine like this ever in the history of humanity. Ultimately, what I believe is that the great-great-great-grandchildren of the things that we're building now will end up being as big an industry as the current computing industry.
Wow.
If you guys enjoyed this show, you can help me make.
Not really what I was looking for. Anyway, that's
No,
the
Jer, that's
foundation.
not even close.
SingularityWeblog.com.
There's where he's talking
It
like
better
on
in
that
a
TED
couple of
Talk.
ways. You can.
He's
Sorry.
talking about it's opening portals to other dimensions and all that. It's just weird that you used to be able to find those clips so easily.
Maybe they wiped it. You know what's really interesting? Like I keep saying, it's all this things are growing faster because technology and information is traveling faster. It's almost like we're getting to this quantum kind of level. But way back when, long before all this technology, then they started to install electricity in street lamps and stuff like that. People apparently at the time, and I couldn't find the article and I couldn't find my original source for this. Otherwise, I would pop it up. But people at the time were making exclamations that suddenly they were having trouble hearing God and talking to God and communicating with God because of this electricity. So that's why one of the reasons why I always thought, this is really a trap. It's trapping us from our soul and talking to a real God, and it's all this fake matrix blocking us.
This
And that's why I
is
have
the
a big
video.
problem with it.
This is the video. It's 13 minutes long. I'll put a link in chat.
It is so juicy, and if for people that have not seen this, I think you should listen to the whole thing and get familiar with Geordie Rose and what he was saying and why it is really of interest that he's gone dark, because he was pushing this, he was excited by it, he helped create it. He's talking about portals to other dimensions. He's talking about standing next to it, and it feels like literally his words, you're standing next to an alien god. He's talking about the presence it has, these servers. And I think that where we are now, this is very poignant, because where we were then, which has been a good decade, it just wasn't hitting the same way it hits now. And that's the thing. This stuff is crazy. It's around us. We now can see that something else is going on, is potentially in the mix.
It feels more ominous.
It certainly does. I mean, I agree. I completely think it feels creepy and ominous, and it's got a piezoelectric feel. The whole everything right now does, where it's like you just have constant goose pimples, and everyone, I feel like we're in the eye of the storm right now. I mean, we've been weathering a storm for a while. It's so crazy, so cartoonish, beyond what we thought it was going to be. I think most people are a little bit surprised at how this is all played out. And now it's only going to get weirder. It's like the whole realm got chemtrail laced with fentanyl. We're on like,
it is weird because if we're in some kind of eye, biblical people are going to see that as this 4 years of calm before your 7 years of crazy or whatever it is before, the Antichrist comes, or maybe Jewish people think it's the Messiah. And we're like, no, that's the Antichrist. Like, people have all these beliefs, and the stuff that's happening seems to be kind of lining up with a lot of this stuff. And we got some major key players out here like Netanyahu. He thinks he's meant to bring about the not the Antichrist, but he thinks he's meant to bring about the Messiah, because obviously they don't believe Jesus is the Messiah, and that's what a lot of this war is about. He's been told he's special. He's to bring it about. You got all these major players, and then you've got Christians who think, oh, the Antichrist is coming, and then they've got Trump and Elon Musk, and it's going somewhere with technology that people are nervous about because we've never been here before, with AI, computers, robots, consciousness that could take over human consciousness, crazy Elon Musk with his autism, and telling us we're going to basically be replaced by AI, but yet we should still be procreating, and here we're going to give you a universal income and all this crazy stuff. It's just so bizarre where we're going. Niish just had to step out for a few seconds, Jer, so I don't know what you think about this, but things are going so fast. It's hard to grasp it. And I started to feel it coming at the beginning of 2024. And I thought, no, Melissa, you're just being ridiculous. I never said anything on X because I knew the MAGA people would freak out. But I started to feel this coming, this switch and this energy. And I kept telling people, and I talked to my husband about it. I told some friends, like, maybe there is a Messiah or an Antichrist, and people flipped out. And now I'm sure it's like so heavy, it's crazy.
What was the question?
It was more of a statement. I'm just like, I don't know how you feel about this year, but that some kind of really heavy energies just flowing in, and I don't even know if Trump is Trump anymore.
Of course he's Trump.
Thank you, Beyond the Strange. It's wonderful to see you here.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
And hi, everybody in chat.
From Oregon to California. Have a good, safe
Sophie
flight.
Deep Dives is in chat. How you doing?
No, it's great.
Mr. Elfman, what's going on?
So things are going crazy. Incognito said, that's my husband, and I have to say happy birthday, Incognito. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Happy birthday. He says, it's Rudolf Steiner's 8th sphere, demons. Yes. There we go. We're back to demons.
But I think what we're looking at here is accelerationism. Things are just getting faster.
Is that like
there you go.
Kali Yuga, where everything goes really fast in the last phase? It's a shorter phase, but it's faster.
DDD could probably explain it better than me, but I just know the concept.
Dystopian Deep Dive said, damn, I'm not seeing half these chats. I think some of them are in my YouTube. Right. And some of them are in Jer's channel, so you won't see them unless you're on my channel. If you're on Jer's channel, because Jer has linked his channel up, so that's why you won't see some of them. Unfortunately, my channel is called Melissa Dawn at Gen X News. Just in case you guys want to know. And if you go to my website, of course, we're waiting for Niish to come back. It's genxonx.com. You can subscribe to all the live streams. There is Rumble, which I encourage because I can say caca words there. Rumble, YouTube, and of course we stream live on X. We are not streaming live on TikTok because I can't censor myself to the point that I don't criticize a certain country. And I just censored myself right there. Yeah, look, I did it. TikTok. Oh my God, I'm so freaked out. TikTok is crazy, that whole ban. Did you see the Elon Seghel?
You asking me?
I'm asking you because you're the only one here right now.
I thought you were asking on. It wasn't a Seghel. I saw the whole thing.
It wasn't a Seghel, but that's what they're calling it.
That's what AOC called it. And she's not a serious person. He was like, I love you.
My heart goes out to you. No, it was a Seghel, man. Come on now. Give him his Nazi status.
All the posts on X that followed that said, what about all these Democrats that did the exact same thing? And then pictures of like
I know.
Who was it? I don't remember now. Michelle Obama, I think. Maybe it was Barack. Tons of people.
I put one out of Superman cartoons.
Yeah.
Flying around.
First of all, it's not a Nazi salute. It's a Roman salute, for one.
Well, here's the thing.
And for two, that's not what the intention was behind it.
Right, exactly. But our favorite fascist, Mussolini, adopted the Roman salute. That's where it came from, because he was trying to herald back to ancient Rome with his stuff. And by the way, Mussolini originally started out as a Marxist, and he didn't work for him. He didn't like it. It wasn't igniting the people. And that's when he kind of curated fascism, because he realized that the people get ignited by their culture and their country, whereas the elites and the rich, they get united by money, power, and status. So he kind of started to arrange it by that. Just for anybody who needs a little information on Mussolini, who was the father of fascism before Adolf Hitler.
Benito,
and that was all an act too. He had that dumb little, he acted like a blockhead kind of thing. So that was a little bit of an act for him. But yeah, his father of fascism originally started out looking at Marxism, and of course Marxism is truly horrible, and fascism was the answer to it. to defeat it, because we know Hitler didn't like Marxists. And I won't say what Muslim religion the Marxists were. I'll behave.
Atheist. Were they Jewish?
No, the Bolsheviks, most of them were Jewish. Yes. They could be secular. I don't know. A lot of them didn't like religion, but that was the thing, because they made it, as soon as they took over Russia, because Russia was mostly Christian, they made it illegal to criticize Jewish people. They made laws about that. Most people don't know this stuff. Of course they did.
Right.
Anyways, Niish, I don't know if you're back or not. I don't know if she's back.
I'm back.
Not.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome back. So anyways, we're just babbling off into, and we got totally sidetracked about Elon Musk's seg hell. And somebody reminded that Trump did not put his hand on the Bible during the oath. Maybe it is a different Trump.
That's not true.
It's
either.
Satan Trump.
I'm just tired of lies.
I did not watch, so I can't say anything really about the inauguration.
Yeah, I watched
outside of Ivanka looked fabulous.
So they have a picture of him like this, but did he eventually put his hand on the Bible?
All the pictures of him where they say he didn't put his hand on the Bible are from the side where you can't see his hand on the Bible.
Okay. Well, it doesn't matter to me as long as he swore an oath. I mean, the Bible was there.
Why does his hand have to be in the Bible? Who gives a fuck?
It's very important. It's symbolism, Jer. It's symbolism. We're a Christian nation.
Okay, you're lost in the weeds. Sir.
Well,
so
anyways,
I did see a couple of little meme clip things that allegedly were true. So I don't know if it was Donald Trump Jr. I think it was Trump Jr. was doing like I guess one of those signs with his hands, and his wife hit his arm. Do you all know what I'm talking about? I saw a little meme on it. Jerry?
No, I didn't see that.
Let me dig and see if I can see it. I don't know if this is true or not. And again, I didn't watch, so I just don't know. But I thought this was a very interesting little clip. And it's hard
now.
Have
2 Bibles. I know that.
It's hard now to know what's true because of how fast things get augmented and changed because of where we are with the technology, and then things run away. It's difficult. Everything is really difficult to navigate at this time. So I'm just gonna look for that while y'all talk.
Okay, well, go have a look at that. So $500 billion AI infrastructure. Netanyahu is really a Milikowski. He's pushing the war because he believes in the Messiah is coming, and it's his job. Seg Hale's not a Seg Hale. Oh, Andrew Tate. Have you heard anything going on about him? I've been keeping track of him, and I personally think he's a psychopath. But he's trying to say that all his court cases were thrown out. Everything is kind of thrown out, and he's a free man, and apparently that's all lies. It's not thrown out. He's going to court, and he could be extradited to England, and there's quite a bit of evidence against him for being a basically trafficker, pervert, abusive asshole. And he's playing this thing where he's trying to equate himself with Trump. And I think that's why he's doing the bruv stuff. Like, he's running apparently for Prime Minister of England, which is kind of funny. And I think he's trying to associate himself and say he's being victimized the way Trump was, but it's not Trump at all. It's not even the same situation, but he's trying to make people connect him to being victimized and wrongfully treated, even though he is pretty much a disgusting pig. Yeah, it doesn't look good. And there is a site, what's it called? Something about crayons. I'll find it. We'll find it on we will find it on Twitter. It's something about crayons. It's the name. Crayons. Murdered by Crayons. If you go to Crayon Murders, @Crayon Murders, This guy lays out so much stuff about Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate and the legal saga and all the lies that they strew trying to get their base to think that they're innocent of all of these horrendous crimes. And so I suggest you guys check it out, but it is good. It's called Murdered by Crayons, and they have all the legal documents, and these guys are going to court, and they're probably going to go to jail.
I thought they just got the charges dropped.
No, that's a lie. He's lying about it. That's what I'm telling you. That's what Andrew Tate said.
I never heard of the guy until he got arrested. So.
Andrew Tate, that's what Andrew Tate is saying, that it was dropped. That's a lie. They lie so much. It's crazy. It's not dropped. He's still on house arrest for another, 25 days. And the charges are still going through. And if those don't go through, they're getting extradited to England. Viva Frey and Barnes Law doubled down on their support for Andrew Tate, utterly embarrassing themselves by pushing debunked misinformation in a recent video. So the Viva Frey, who's Canadian, is helping them push a bunch of crap. But if you go to this Murdered by Crayons, he just lays it out, all the documents and everything. The new White House liaison, I don't know how Andrew Tate has embedded himself in all of this stuff, but he is literally a psychopathic, what's the word? Predator.
Listen to what I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. The dystopian deep dives lady. Was it Natalie? I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. Anyway, look what she's saying about him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's a CIA plant.
He's Epstein type operation intelligence. Yeah. Yes. Well, a lot of them are. A lot of them get in trouble, and then they get in trouble, and the CIA comes in and says, "You do all this stuff, and we won't charge you." So, like the Kransenstein brothers, they're big on X. They are big Democrat pushers. They got caught with porn sites and all this stuff. The FBI gave them a deal, and so they went on pushing DNC sort of Democrat narratives against Republicans, and they get paid, but they had to make a deal with the FBI to do that because they got caught basically running porn sites and everything with minors. So this is like some crazy kind of stuff going on. Thank you, Dystopian Deep Dives, for pointing that out. Yes. Dystopian Deep Dives from YouTube. Thank you so much.
And her name is Natalie. I remember.
Natalie. Yeah, it is insane. You don't know who's who, and you can never know. Ultimately, if you're on X or any of these places, this guy's a douchebag that's on Murdered by Crayons. This guy, that I had, that's on that video. I don't like him.
Jerry, I sent it to you in text. Sorry to interrupt, and thank you, Noelle. I sent it to you in text so you can share it.
How am I supposed to get this onto my computer?
It's just a little meme thing, like
Mystery
where?
Mystery woman laundered 10 million pounds for Andrew Tate. Like, these guys are just so criminal, and they get away with it. That's what pisses me off. Interesting. Tate's dad was a military chess champ, totally precursor for working for the Deep State and MK Ultra and CIA.
I'll send it. I'm trying to send it to my email.
I got it. I can just.
Okay.
I will repost it.
I don't even know what you guys are doing.
I'll go to Twitter.
There, thank you. I
just look at my profile and see what I just reposted.
It's hard for me to get it from one place to another here because I don't have anything synced up.
All right, so this is what Nish was. I have to do a tab right to get the audio. Is that right? Okay.
I don't know that there's audio, but this is going around, and it's just interesting with the wife. So it's Eric Trump, and it's interesting with the wife hitting his shoulder and stuff. The whole thing's very awkward and weird looking to me.
Okay. Oh, is that where he's making the hand signal?
Yes.
And she kind of pushes him back.
Yeah, it's awkward. It's strange. Something's weird about it.
Go ahead, let me share.
They're trying to say that she was just pushing him back, but I don't know.
But
It did look a little
even
weird.
his stance, even his, like, he's like trying to do it for the camera. I mean, so whatever she's doing adds to the weirdness, but he's already created the weirdness around it, knowing that this is a hot thing to do. Everyone knows if you do this symbol in public, they're going to just run away with it. So what the fuck is he doing? You know, like, why is he doing this?
You know, I find
Jerry, are you
myself.
playing it?
Yeah,
I don't see it for some
that's
reason.
because Melissa is sharing something else right now.
Okay. You want to share your screen?
I
Or
am
do you have
sharing.
it up there to share? Okay, here we go. There you go. There he is.
I
He
don't.
doesn't really step back, does he?
I think this is why would you do that? Why is he doing that? And because I don't care about that symbol and anything, but he's intentionally doing that.
No, he's not. Honestly, I've stood listening to people, and I find myself doing that just out of habit.
Is that a man thing?
Yeah, it's just a way to put your hands while you're listening or whatever.
I don't know.
You can't put them in your pocket. You can't really.
She's like, stop.
Okay, so
Eric, stop signaling the Illuminati.
But let's look at this strategically. This is world stage, Jerry. Everyone knows that this is conspiracy style stuff. These people have people that are PR people. They have people in their ears constantly telling what to do, what not to do because of moments like that. That's kind of the stuff like the okay symbol and stuff like that mean that to me just seem like natural things to do. But people pick up on that and it goes crazy. He appears to be doing it intentionally. And I know he knows for a fact, I know he knows that is one of those touchy things to do. And his wife seeing it and hitting his shoulder a little bit also signifies to me. So to me, it seems intentional. He knows better than to do this. Now, you doing it, Jerry, and just the average Joe Blow doing it, yeah. But these people are groomed. They're groomed to do this.
Unless it unconsciously came out and he was like, because it's their signal and he does it all the time.
But
she was
Melissa,
like,
just even in my days as a model, like when I was a child doing runway model, we were so conditioned to do everything correctly. You have this stuff in your head. You walk and pivot and stuff. These people are not new at the rodeo. They know better. This is like, you've got to understand that these are professionals at what they're doing. And I don't believe in that kind of an accident. There's something more going on there. I just feel it. And I don't care if they're just goading people and want to get the, get the chatter going and playing adversary. But I know he knows better than to do that.
Yeah. Well, Sheila Sampson says it's also a way to channel energy. So that's interesting. I had never heard that before. That's an interesting concept.
And I agree that it looks like a joke. And that's the thing. It looks like he's goading people. Like they know, he knows that he should not do that because it's going to create some hubbub.
Yeah. It is bizarre. But they have all these weird, like we were just talking before he left about Elon Musk making his own kind of Mar-a-Lago in New York City and having his little clubs. Did you guys see, like, he already showed up somewhere? What was he doing? There was an event and it was like robot go-go dancers. Like really creepy. And I'm like, yeah, if Elon Musk has a club, it's going to be like his AI autistic, heaven. He's going to have like go-go, like it's weird, it's creepy. Like the whole point of go-go dancers is to be a little sexy, provocative in their dancing. To make it a robot is really weird to me. And I don't doubt if he has some kind of paradise that he makes in New York, it's going to be full with AI, robot sex dolls, and weird stuff. Because he's weird like that. He artificially inseminated several women to have more children. Like he does. I don't think he's having sex with most of the women he has children with. It's so bizarre. I'm
Yeah,
just creeped out by the way things are going.
Yeah, the children thing with Elon is very strange. It's like, it reminds me of what Epstein was talking about by populating, so many women, like the planet, half the planet.
Yeah, it is so strange. And then he's got his son X, who he carries around like he's trying to make and groom a protege. Like, I don't know what's going on. He is, yeah. And that to me, that's a little bit of narcissism because, yeah, you want to influence your son. You want to have him do the things you do, but you also want him to explore and be himself. And I just don't think Elon can do that. I think he's too weird.
Yeah, he's pretty weird.
Pat says go-go dancers are just a way to get rid of one's wallet, to lighten up the wallet. Woo-woo says, we'll go through some comments. Niish had to step out for another second. Woo-woo goes there, says, Jer, what's the deal with Elon and Diablo 4? Just saw a thumbnail about it, but I don't know what's up. He loves video games. He's a big video gamer.
He's a streamer. I know he got into a tiff with Asmongold about his gameplay. Apparently some people were saying that he's not playing or he's not good. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't
know. Incognito says his son is his fuck trophy. It's kind of bizarre that these are the people that are ruling. It's not like, at least the oligarchs of before, not oligarchs, but the wealthier people, say 100 years ago, they still had some humanity there. They built churches, they beautified things, they believed in God. I don't know what the hell these people believe in. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's a God that loves us. I don't think so at all.
I have no idea.
And I mean, look at Elon Musk was positing modern art on his X, and I told him modern art is ugly, and it is ugly.
It is.
It's ugly, and the buildings are ugly. They put spikes. They make it so that homeless people can't sleep on the benches or you can't sit comfortable. The whole thing is ugly, uncomfortable, cold, awkward, and gross. We got a comment, some more comments. Lee Harrington, thank you for joining, Lee. Elon with the black mega hat made me cringe. I should have tuned in to the black mega hat and realized that was that Elon's kind of dark. He's dark, man. He's got a dark spirit. I know, but when he did, I should have tuned in. He showed up in Pennsylvania with it.
It's his MAGA hat.
The black MAGA hat doesn't bother me at all.
Me neither.
It did because of Elon.
But it just doesn't. I think he called it goth MAGA or whatever. Dark MAGA.
Dark MAGA.
Yeah.
It was a play on the whole Dark Brandon thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that was it.
Elon lives his life like he's an autistic 10-year-old. I think he sees everything as a video game, like some fantasy world that he has to bring to life. He literally, it feels to me like he's always in a video game. Like that's just how he sees things. And I just don't like it. I just find it disturbing. I don't want my life to be in a video game. And of course, the one thing that I always criticized him, I supported him. I thought it was great that he did X, but the one thing I was never okay is these brain chips, these Neuralink that he wants to merge us with. And I'm just like, no, I'll die in the mountains and rough it without any of this stuff and, whack a bear before I put that thing in my brain.
Same.
It's grotesque, and I think this is why he's so harsh into this. He has these goals. I think he got Vivek fired from the Doge. Vivek's been fired from it. I think Elon didn't like him, and I think he had a lot to do getting him.
I don't know that he got fired.
Oh, he did. I've been watching some news stuff on it, and it's sus. It's sus, man. It's suspicious. And it all happened right after him and Vivek called out the H-1B visa criticism as racist, which is so woke. Oh, and did you hear about the term? They're now saying the woke right. You hear that one?
Yeah, that
So
James Lindsay started that, didn't he?
yeah, and I've
So
been
what is the woke right?
so basically, the woke right. James Lindsay started. I first heard Jordan Peterson and his daughter say it, who have blocked me on X. James Lindsay started. I'm actually next week having Carlin Borsienko on, who's been arguing with him. So we're going to get her on. So we'll see what she says about James Lindsay. But James Lindsay has started it, and he's basically saying that anybody who basically doesn't get in line with his liberal views, and any kind of Republicans or MAGAs that are criticizing Israel, pretty much this is the criteria, are the woke right now. We're the same as the woke left. And I'm like, no, you're the woke. You're trying to cancel people from speaking and saying stuff and call them names so they can't say anything. And they're calling for the canceling of all these people, saying we're fascists, we're dangerous, we're evil, and we're the woke right. It's a new term. He's trying to get it to stick, and it's not really sticking. Now he's trying to find other terms to basically call out anyone who criticizes it's Israel. And that's where his paycheck now is coming from. Turning Point USA, they're founded by Israel. All these media, all these sort of Republican media sites that are big and make a lot of money, they're getting money from Israel. They are, once you take the check, you can't say what you want to say. And so he's calling us now, anyone who criticizes, even just Netanyahu, just a politician, you're woke right. And it's the most ridiculous stuff. That's what it is. In a nutshell. I kind of ranted a bit. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's fine.
I love a rant. I live for a rant.
Rah! But that's what it is. James Lindsay's made it up, and I think, it's come out. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm having Carlin on, and it's come out. His stepdaughter is basically saying that James Lindsay is going to different all these conservative conventions, Women for Liberty, their conservative group. And basically what he's doing is he's told his wife, we have an open marriage. It's not really, she doesn't want it. It's not an open marriage. He's just going to all these conservative conventions, allegedly, according to his daughter, to cover my ass. And his daughter has said it right on Twitter. It's his stepdaughter. He's going there and basically shacking up with all these women and having an open marriage, and they're all fighting over him. And then he goes home and has his wife time, and then they try to interrupt that and fight over him and get him to leave his wife. So he's basically banging all these conservative women, all at these events that he gets paid to attend. And he's calling his daughter crazy and blocking her, and that's when I know she's probably telling the truth. And he's going totally crazy on Twitter trying to cover this up, and it's getting quite nuts. James has an open marriage, yeah, accordingly he does, but it's not one his wife wants, so it's not really an open marriage if two people don't agree to it. It's called he's cheating. This is all played out in the past 2 weeks, by the way. I'm going to have Carlin on. We'll probably talk about that and the real Marxist. But yeah, he's been out there basically being a narcissistic, asshole, having fun with all these women, saying, and getting paid to do it. And these are supposed to be conservative.
Wait, you're talking about James Lindsay?
I'm talking about James Lindsay. And we'll talk about it next Thursday. I'm having Carlin on, and I'll ask her about it because she's been covering it and they've been attacking her. And it's his daughter. His daughter has not talked to him for 3 years. And he's basically saying it's because he's making her look crazy. She hasn't talked to us for 3 years. And I'm like, I'm betting it's because you're an asshole.
How old is she?
She's 28, 29.
How old is he?
He's old. And it's his stepdaughter. He's a stepdaughter. Okay. He was a mathematician, and he never really apparently made a lot of money. And his wife was paying for most of the stuff. And then eventually he started to make money because he had to take stuff from these Turning Point USA and all this stuff. He started to make money this way. And now he thinks he's bigger than God. And, boom, crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Crazy stuff. It's all, I'm going to say allegedly, but I'm allegedly and not allegedly. It's nuts. It's crazy stuff. And he's calling us woke right. And he's got a whole bunch of skeletons in his closet that are being revealed. And that's what you get for trying to villainize a whole group of people. So that was the gossip for tonight, guys. I never actually intended to talk about that, but you guys asked. Oh, James Lindsay, so I had to say it.
And you're talking about it. Did I miss? This is James Woods.
Mm-mm. James Lindsay.
Oh, okay, thank you.
James
Sorry, I was
Lindsay.
like,
Not James
what?
Woods. You know what? If it was James Woods, I'd actually understand it because he's from Hollywood. But not
Well,
someone who goes to conservative political talking places and tries to. He thinks he's talking about Marxists, but he's really not. I don't think he really even knows. They basically, how he proved that people were woke, right, is he took the Marxist, whatever, Karl Marx's Marxist manifesto stuff, and what he said was he rewrote it and served it to this conservative religious place online and presented it to them, and they published it for him. And he said he only changed a few words, but when you go and look at it, apparently what happened was he just didn't change a few words. He changed 90% of the document. So it's not even Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto anymore. He's being, academically dishonest. So that's why, and he's saying, see, they're woke, right? They're just like a bunch of commies. He changed the whole document. It's not even the manifesto anymore. So I would go and look at what he did at the beginning of his career when he got famous, which is he published the Mein Kampf, and he got academics to publish it, just changed it a few words. He got liberals to publish it. I would actually want to go relook at that and see exactly how much was actually Mein Kampf, now that I know he did that. It's kind of crazy. James thinks that, we have a comment here, that postmodern thought is Marxism. Yeah, it's not really, not entirely.
What is
I don't really, I'm not really too informed on this, so I don't have much to say.
No, he's got big at the same time Jordan Peterson got big. So they're all in that kind of line of thought, talking about postmodernism.
Let's talk about
blame the left.
That Episcopalian bishop.
Episcopalianism's gone down the drain.
Oh,
so has Anglicanism. It's an Anglican sector.
Even the Catholics.
So Jerry, what is going on with this?
So
let me see if I can find a video.
The bishop, the female bishop that presided over the prayer service, did a whole woke sermon in the middle of it, basically bashing Trump for his executive orders. It was kind of funny.
At the inauguration?
At the prayer service.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to share the video right now for you guys. Let's get this on. There she is. Let's see. I think this is this it? I'm not sure. Is this the actual one we're looking for?
I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.
But some of them want to kill us, lady. And there's one with, I got to find the one where with the reaction of, this is a better one. You'll see the reaction of Trump.
Let me make one final plea.
Now watch the reaction of Trump while she says it.
Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants
Trump's like, oh God, when is this going to be over?
They pay taxes and are good neighbors.
This
They
is
are faithful
cringy.
members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
Listen, this is
I ask you to have
cringy.
mercy, Mr.
I
President, on
think
those in
it's
our
like, so you know how vocal I've been on all these subjects, but I think this is completely cringy. And I think that if you're walking around in fear because of what's going on between your legs and what's going on behind closed doors, and what I mean, so I don't care what you think about Trump. I don't care. If he was going to do something to hurt that community, we already had 4 years of him. So I just don't see anything there. And I know a huge this community is for Trump. Just like a large amount of the Black community is for Trump too. And this kind of separate, if for good or bad, for whatever it is, I'm not throwing in my flag for Trump or my flag for anyone. I'm just saying that she's creating a fear meme. She's creating a fear vibe. She's creating something that doesn't need to be put out there and fed upon anymore. And we all have our ideas of what's what. But this was just, I think, inappropriate. Again, I haven't watched the whole thing. I just watched that, and it just seemed really cringy. And like the point of it being what that these people that have been pushing. I'm talking about the agenda. Because I've had on my show Gays Against Groomers and all this. You know how I am about all this. And this agenda, which she clearly seems to be pushing, and shame on her with her little religious setup, is playing to that. And it's a manipulation, and it's unethical, and it's
It was
ridiculous, inappropriate, and a lot of people in the LGBTQ XYZ community think this way too. A lot of people in the Black community think this way too. And if you came into the United States illegally, you have fucking broke the law coming in. And I get so frustrated by this argument. It's cheesy, it's old, it's dusty, and people are still hanging on and doubling down to it.
Well, and she doesn't ever mention all the fact that a lot of these people that come in illegally have been given free healthcare, free credit cards, free cell phones, free places to live, all on our shoulders. And while we don't even get proper medical care, or we have to work our guts off for it, and then we get declined. She doesn't mention that. She doesn't mention the people that come in and are criminals, keep breaking the law, keep drinking and driving, are murdering our citizens, are violent. Nothing of that. Just have a kind heart.
Didn't she make the most crazy statement in there? I mean, if we deconstruct it, so what? She's saying all laborers are immigrants, and this languaging is it's so ridiculous, and it is completely a manipulation. It's ridiculous.
They want cheap labor. Dystopian Deep Dive said they want cheap labor. That's what she's saying. And even create, like we had JoJo from Jersey on X was going on about, you know what? the workers at the farms are terrified. They're not even going to the farm to work. They're so scared that they're going to be deported. Our food prices are going to go up. And this guy commented, he's like, bitch, it's winter. Ain't nobody picking a crop. It's like it's the middle of January.
It's just this kind of consistent word salad, war salad, pimp talk, lawyer talk, easy ease talk. I'm just so over it. And I will say this for Trump. He speaks at 8th grade level. He may be saying there may be a whole bunch to read in between the lines, but his words are actually, the things he says are at 8th grade level, because the majority papers have been written at 8th grade level, because the majority of people are kind of at that level, or used to be. I think the bar has become lowered, but he keeps it pretty simple and doesn't weave you round in these weird circles. And I really do appreciate great speaking and being able to braid a conversation, and to I appreciate really amazing speakers that know how to present information from a myriad of ways, like throw a whole bunch of stuff on the table and then weave it all together and then present it back to you. I love that. That's an art. But Trump keeps it very, very simple, and he keeps it so you can understand, and he repeats his points. So, no matter what, I appreciate the simplicity there.
Well, and he knows who his audience is. They're not expecting a Shakespearean soliloquy, right? My fancy word of the day. They're not expecting that. They have things that they want. They don't want the immigration. They want the economy to be better. They want America first. They want their borders secure. They don't want to be in all these wars. They want their infrastructure improved. They want good medical. They have basic things that they want, and it's easy to convey that.
Well, when we're talking about any kind of government, from your local to the federal, etc., I think it needs to be very simple, clear cut, and also transparent. I think that the minute we start getting crazy with the language, and this is when you start bringing in the lawyers and the underwriters and all this,
double speak.
right, and you start making it where you have to say, okay, so what is right? Bill Clinton. And you have to start pulling out Black's Law, and you just have to start looking at this, like, what kind of trap is this? If it's kept clear and simple, it's a friend to you as a person that is interacting with something as potentially a very bad thing, because all this is usually contractual when we have our leaders telling us what's what and what direction we're going in. There's usually something going on one way or another. So let's keep it very simple.
So Sheila says medical is going to be fooked with the new data centers coming in. It's going to be weird. I don't like doctors. I've never liked doctors all my life. I don't like medication. I've never been on any except for like birth control, and even that's bad for you. I just don't. I may take some multivitamins, but I'm not into a lot of this stuff that they're planning because I don't trust them. And I can't tell you how wrong I think the system is, that they're just going to sweep us through an AI system. That's like, and how do I know? Like, how do I know the AI doesn't decide if I live or die?
What has any of these people in power, and all of these are very wealthy people. We keep forgetting that, because they want to say, well, the Republicans, the billionaires club, but at the Democratic convention, they were flossing around and flexing their money, telling us straight up they were billionaires. The one guy from Illinois, take it from a real billionaire, that's what he said on stage.
So it's disgusting.
Tell me you're a billionaire without literally telling me you're a billionaire, and then you literally tell me you are. I think that we are not trustworthy anymore. What have they done to proven that they don't lie to us. All of them have been caught in lies. Why should we trust them, especially after this medical stuff, what they've done to our health? As I went out to put my ducks up, chemtrails were happening.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so what, you lied to us for a decade and a half about that and then came out and said it was for our betterment? Okay. What about the fluoride? What about this? And we can go back. We can go back. We can keep going back. And what have they done that has done anything to garner our trust and help us to believe what they're saying is not a full on lie? I mean, I think it is ironic that the clip of Kubrick coming out saying, what he said about the moon landing video.
That was not Kubrick.
Well, whatever, Jerry, it doesn't matter if it's Kubrick or not. I'm talking about the zeitgeist, and I'm talking about
That's
how the
fine. Just
zeitgeist
said
works.
when Kubrick came out, it wasn't Kubrick.
So whatever that video is, because people have said it is, people have said it's not, I don't know. I know that it came out before they could do the AI stuff really well, but whatever, it's in the zeitgeist. And the thing is, it's in the zeitgeist, people are chewing it, and the timing of it coming out right now is to be noted. And that's really the key thing to note here, is coming back to some of these first things that people started to question as we moved into the modern era, and the moon landing was one of them.
Yes. And Incognito just said he's reminding us about something that's good for the medical system. He's saying the insurance algorithm already proved that this AI bullshit doesn't work. Cue the guillotine. A lot of the insurance companies are running an algorithm that literally turns people away, even though they shouldn't be turned away for their claims. It's literally killing more people now because it's run on an algorithm. I mean, I want to talk to a human, not an algorithm. I certainly don't want to talk to Elon Musk about my health.
Well, it's funny. I just got like an order from nuts.com, and I'm not even going to admit onto the air what I ordered. Comfort food, y'all, and along with some spices. But I got my order, and I go, and it's wrong. The order's wrong, like dreadfully wrong, and I don't even want what was sent. And so I go to call the number. And, I was just expecting possibly someone from India or an Indian accent. And I did a straight up got AI. AI wouldn't, there was no way to bypass AI like you used to be able to hit 0 and all this other stuff. I couldn't, they said, leave a message. I leave a message, but I just was not happy with that. So then I get on and I write an email, and the email came back almost instantly with the response. So I told that AI that responded to me in like 2 minutes that I said, check your messages. And so I had that AI check its messages, and then a minute later it said, okay, so I see what we're doing here, blah blah blah. And I presented everything, pictures, because it's a really gross fuck up. And because on the box it clearly says what I ordered, it's got the whole thing, but in the box is completely not it. I send the pictures because that's obviously going to have to be reviewed, because I think AI doesn't know the difference between what I ordered and what I got. And now it's been days later, like no response. And that is the state of trying to get a human to talk to me. There was no option through email. There's no option through calling. And it gets all this, I'm talking low level AI. I'm not talking the more advanced stuff. This is just systems running, right? Systems running AI. And so what do we do? What do we do? Because we've got these kind of this level of, where is a human? You used to be able to say, I would like to speak with a human, or you used to be able to override it and say, I need actual customer service, or whatever the thing was to get around the AI. And at this point, I would rather have an Indian in India than an AI. seriously.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's all so crazy because you just go into a never-ending circle jerk of not having any problem solved, and the AI has no empathy. They can't understand your human needs. They just understand, they have a program. This is the ultimate goal, and this is what has to be done. It's just, I wanted to say this, get right into this about the AI and algorithms is, and I can't believe I didn't say this about Elon Musk's ultimate goal with X. And I think it's we're feeding his AI, we're feeding Grok, and he's collecting everything from us. I think that's what X's ultimate goal was. If you go into Grok on AI and you type, I don't know, people were typing like, basically they're saying, is Israel right no matter what? And they're like, yeah, everybody else basically has to die. Israel's right all the time. And the lefty systems, the ones you see with MSN, do something similar, but it's some kind of Marxist thing. They all do this, like they have this ultimate rule that they're supposed to support. And if you, and at any cost, everyone has to die. Everything has to go at this one cost. And I'm like, wow, that's incredibly dangerous because there's no other rule besides that. That's totally Space Odyssey 2001.
And so at the bottom of this for me right now is that we're being led somewhere. I think that I personally am not comfortable going, and it's not like we have a lot of a choice. I mean, we always have choices, we do, but the choices become uncomfortable, like we saw with the lockdown. And you may not be able to have a job. But where we're going with all kinds of systems now, that's like a reality. It's really affecting, like, say, the entertainment business. I which I know a huge amount of people in, and everyone's really nervous about that. And it's affecting a lot of people. I'm not gonna argue that, but we're going somewhere that is very uncomfortable as far as I'm concerned in the end, because of all the digitization, the biometrics, the sickness side of it, the sicker side of all this. So to have healthier things, you still have to get into this new system that is based on biometrics. And also in the new system that's based on biometrics, you have to you've got, it's basically the Chinese system we've been talking about forever. And so you have to prove you're a citizen. So this is the darker side of our borders. This is the darker side of being an American. I'm just using that because we're here. Being an American now. And to prove you're an American, you're going to have to jump through some hoops now. So you can't just be born here and you're having your like me, my family's been here for hundreds of years. And you can't just have that I'm basically, I can't even remember what they call it, what you're indigenous after 400 years. We've been here 600 years, allegedly. But that's not the point. The point is you have to prove it by getting into the system. Otherwise, you're suspect. And that's the darker side of this. If you want healthier food, then you have to get into this system. If you want better quality skies around you, you're going to have to move into the freedom cities, and where they have air controlled space over your head, and all this stuff that just is looking very darkly lit. And the thing is, everyone's so excited because we got out from under the Biden crazy that we were in, that just was so crazy. Mr. Magoo, crazy. And I couldn't wait like everyone else. I was just like, oh my God, it's so horrible. He just made the conditions for trying to afford your life really difficult. And And now, so here we're confronted with, okay, so now you have to prove yourself up. Now you have to be part of this to get all the spoils. What's worse? And now throw in aliens.
Yeah. It is crazy. And Diana responded, Diana Young said, you must justify your existence.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Dinah, for that, because that's what this is looking like.
Yeah, it is crazy. And that's what I'm glad you mentioned that about, like, they're going to make, you have to move into these cities because they're going to be the place where everything, like, they destroy everything else and everything's crap, and they're going to be the ideal and the most comfortable places, and they're going to make it that way because most people can't, especially the younger generation, they can't function without the comfort.
It's not
Look
the
at
fall
people
of Babylon, it's the rise of Babylon. And Babylon
Yeah.
is the front of it. It's like
Interesting.
robotics, AI, whatever it is, it's definitely the rise of it. And I don't know the Bible that well. Y'all know this, but I do know it a little because I had, been dabbling in it, and I find it an interesting read, and I've enjoyed it. But doesn't Babylon rise twice? Jerry, does it rise twice or
I have no
something?
idea.
Any
You
Bible
didn't
people
pay
out there,
attention
leave a
at
comment.
Bible study, Jerry.
Mhm.
I have
Well-
literally never read the Bible.
I'm going to
You
start
grew
reading
up
it
in the
again.
church too.
I did. Well, I left early, so.
Yeah. So, Melissa, do you know anything about this?
I don't, but maybe my husband knows if he's read the Bible. So, incognito, if you know anything about that, pop in a comment because he's definitely read the Bible. I have not read the Bible
I'd
through
heard
and
like
through.
it rises twice or something, but I don't know. I would like clarity on that. Because right now, what I definitely see is the rise of what I looked at in the Bible as something that looks very much like Babylon.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And like I said, people will want to go to these Babylon city centers because look, Gen Z freaked out. TikTok was banned for maybe 12 hours, and they lost it.
They were calling 911.
Yeah. They're crying. They lost it. They didn't know what to do because all their community was there. That's it. And he has no idea. He's read it, but he has no idea if Babylon rises twice.
That's how I felt when I got kicked off of Discord. I didn't call 911 though.
Yeah, well, I do a lot of activity on X, and I would just sort of be like, I'd probably check it, but I wouldn't start crying. Look, when I was a kid, you just played outside all day.
Yep.
Right into my teens, I walked to work all day without any technology. I would probably just clean my house or something, or go do something else that didn't involve it. I might keep checking it because it's habit, but I wouldn't start crying. And I wouldn't start squealing like I'm like someone just took my stash away that I'm addicted to. It was really bizarre. So it'll be easy to get most people into those cities, especially the younger generation. It'll be a piece of cake.
I just couldn't be more dissatisfied with that whole thing. And I was dissatisfied with the 15-minute cities. And the thing is, when I first saw that coming on, this has been a long ass time ago. And when I was just looking at the plans of it, because they did it in a geometrical way. There's circles. If you look at the blueprints, it's very interesting. It has it has a thing that appeals to you if you are conscientious of, you want to think it looks cool if you like permaculture, if you like all this stuff, but it's all a bloody trap, just like all the green stuff. And we all know that's a trap. That green and smart are just dirty words. And it all seemed great until we realized that
marketing.
It's not great, and they've used this language against us, as is often the way, and it's still,
we get more taxes.
It still gets people playing because nobody really wants to dig deeper and look into this stuff. And that's what's really disheartening to me in the general public. Like, Trumpers hate the left and they won't listen to the left. Lefties hate Trumpers, and Trumpers are not the right Republican. Trump is MAGA's its own thing. And so it's like they won't listen to each other. Black Twitter doesn't listen to white Twitter. White Twitter doesn't listen to black Twitter. And I'm
That's what they
listening.
want.
Well, they totally did this, and I'm out there listening to all of it. So, I've had to, like, there's a lot of stuff that the Black community is saying where I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Not the super crazy radical stuff, but there's some stuff in there that I've had to think about, and I do think about, and it makes a lot of damn sense. Just like when I first approached Flat Earth and that whole idea, a lot of damn sense. And so you got to consider this. It's important to get your eyes on all the information, not just part of the information, not just one side of the information, and not just what you want to hear. Everyone is they just become, if you hear it, it's like a lullaby. That's what I want to hear. Down to sleep I go.
So you don't
And
scream.
Confirmation bias.
Of course, it's exactly what it is. And like I said, the Trump administration said a whole hell of a lot of stuff I wanted to hear, especially after enduring Biden and Kamala for so long.
Kamala.
It's all stuff you want to hear, but then you start seeing what's going on when the rubber hits the road. And then the most important thing is what's being underwritten and whose signatures are on it and what's going on when it's go time.
But now, now you've been unburdened by what has been.
Well, now look, Marxists analyze things and they say some things that are true. Their solutions aren't very good. The Unabomber said things that were, inherently true about I gotta talk properly, society. But that doesn't make his solutions inherently a good thing. There's a lot of people who bring some good points that we have to look at, and it doesn't always mean that the solution is the best idea. Like, I don't know that anyone has a solution for all these problems. I don't know if anyone knows how to break up. Like, free market capitalism is not the issue. It's these like huge corporations that have a monopoly. I don't think anyone knows how to do it because they control everything now, and we don't understand how to get the control back or break them down or make them smaller or take away power so they don't have as much. I don't think we actually have an answer for that. Maybe somebody does. I don't know. Maybe Carlin has an idea. I'll have her on next week. I don't know what the answer is, but we have a huge problem with all these techs, people, the power in politics, the money in politics. It's just so much, and nobody knows how to deal with it, and nobody knows really what the answer is.
Oh, hold on. I think I have something for us.
Okay. Maybe somebody does. If somebody does, please put it in the comments, whether you're watching now or later, or put it on the podcast. Let me know what you think the answer is, because it seems to be that people have answers, but I don't know if they're really going to work. People have spiritual answers. People, Marxists, the real communists, they think you just, dissemble the family. The capitalism. When they say capitalist, they mean the family, because they think that capitalism comes from the family. So their whole thing is to disseminate the family, destroy gender, destroy everything, take it out, and then capitalism will die. Maybe
Jerry,
they're
I
right.
sent you this. I was talking about this earlier, not to interrupt you, but I wanted to make sure we got this in the mix tonight, because I don't know if it's true or not, but it is certainly cringy, and it's Elon, and he's saying, this is part of why he's saying he's on the spectrum. So I saw that there was information, like they made a response to this, so it makes me think it's real, that he gets overwhelmed by all the energy because of his autism or whatever the hell he's got, his cyborg ways. And that's why he does this, because this is not the only time. He's been seen doing this a lot recently, since he's been up in the spotlight more because of what he's doing. And can you play it, Jerry?
I'll put it on. Just
I
give
put
me a
it up for
second.
Melissa.
Okay, for Melissa. So this is, I just find this of interest. I don't know how valid it is.
Here we go.
But they did
Okay,
respond
so
to it. His team did respond to this.
interesting. Well, we're going to have a little share time. And let's see here. Share screen. There we go. Sorry, I just got to find it. Here we go. Is that it? Yes. Here we go.
If ever there was proof that this man is an alien, it was today at the inauguration. He looks like he is straight up getting a download from somewhere, or he's rebooting. Like, what the heck? And in a second, he looks over and it looks like he catches the camera recording him, and it is chilling. Look, right there. It's chilling. Honestly, I'm not even mad if he's an alien. Seriously. Or a robot, whatever. I mean, doesn't it kind of make sense, though? He always seems like he's like something not real, but trying to be like a human. Like he's...
Pinocchio.
It ain't right. All I'm saying is that was suspicious. Real suspicious. Please don't come for me, Elon Musk. I didn't do anything. I just saw it with everybody else.
So, and that's, you know, this is why I like to watch these events live, because I make these I catch this stuff live too. And, I mean, I caught so much Hillary stuff, and then they go through, you know, and it gets wiped, or, you know, there's stuff that some people don't catch or whatever. And I would have definitely done like that. Whoever, I guess there's a bunch of those clips out there of that. That was creepy, and that's like some stuff we saw Hillary doing too, but in a different way. So I don't know if it's real or fake. I don't know. Allegedly people were taking this right off of the TV, and I have taken some strange stuff off
it was
live.
real. It was real on the TV. He was listening to them do all the speech, and I just was kind of like, yeah, it's kind of boring, but he's a little odd, and he does have odd behaviors. It could go in line with his what is he? What form of autism? Asperger's. Thank you, Jer. It could go in line. I don't know, but wow. It is bizarre. And you know, when I mean, I always heard about Elon, but the first time I really took notice on him was the first time he went on Joe Rogan's podcast. Apparently Joe Rogan's podcast can actually be a CIA asset, I'm told. But he went on there and he smoked that joint. And I remember looking at him going, this guy is really weird. There's just something wrong. He doesn't feel like he's human. He feels really cold. So it's interesting that you bring this video up.
Well, it's something that I just noticed this stuff. And again, not watching the inauguration, I couldn't validate this at all, but I've seen him do this before, and I've seen others do this before, and I find it of interest. And of course, if there's high strange, I want to be around it. I'm curious about the world we're in, and I'm curious. I love following the high strange. That's why I do what I do. And this, to me, that is some of the deeper high strange when we start looking at that kind of stuff, like what's going on, because I think this is tied into him taking, using himself as the experiment and putting that, what's he calling it now? Was it Neuralace? Is it still that? Is it still
Neuralink?
Neuralinks is satellites. What's he calling the stuff you put in
No,
your brain?
Starlink is a satellite.
That's Starlink.
Neuralink's the BCI.
That's what goes in your brain.
Yes.
Yes. So did he do that? I think he possibly did, because he does not read human to me, but he also reads human at the same time. He reads cyborg to me, and that looks like what I would expect to see, like in processing. It's processing and all that energy. He's not reading non-human in the way that I think of, like some of these demonic or lizardy or things that are in there eating up the energy and all that. He's different. Elion is different.
He kind of reminds me of like an alien. What do they call them? They're not humans. They look human.
Greys?
No. In the movie Alien, they're part of the
yeah.
crew. What do they call them? Like, I can't remember what they call them, but they're human looking. But they're little robots.
Oh, synthetic humans.
Yeah, like they're
androids. What are you
androids. Yeah. Well, it's played by a main character, and she thinks they're human. She thinks he's human at first, but then she realizes he's this android kind of figure, that he's not human. And the way the actor's acting, there is something weird about them all along. But you realize in the first one, at the end, he attacks her, but he's not human.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's where I'm at with this. This is very strange. So for me, in the middle of all this becomes the more intriguing thing that I'm kind of intrigued by is what's going on with
Replicant.
It is bringing me Philip K. Oh, the Tyrell Corporation.
That was Blade Runner, not Replicant.
That's Blade Runner. That's Philip K.
Okay.
Dick. And
that's Blade Runner. Okay.
More human
that's the
than
same
human.
thing. That's the same thing. Same idea.
Rachel. But that's what I'm trying to get at, is this seems very Philip K. Dick to me. And and in my last chat with Tessa Dick, we were talking about this, like how this is all kind of warping and melting. And I mean, to me, a lot of the world is really looking like what Philip was writing.
I was going to say, maybe Phil was remote viewing.
I know the world ahead, because so much of what he was telling us really truly was spot on, especially when it comes to this kind of technology.
Yeah, this is also really hard. I'm never really into sci-fi movies. I do a lot of history. I look at a lot of groups that talk about, where I was born and all the old pictures, and I just find this so unrelatable. A lot of this, it just kind of devastates me how unhuman everything's becoming, because I like old stuff, and I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't feel like it feels like no matter what we do, this is the track the elites are pushing. It doesn't matter what party we vote for. This is the track they're pushing. Like I said, they'll take their shit sandwich and wrap it up in whatever language suits us to get our minds to go in the same direction and accept it. And I think it's going to work. My husband, he always says it's not going to work. It's not going to work. People are waking up, and I'm like, it just seems like they've got every trick in the book. And I just feel kind of devastated by a lot of this technology, because I think we only need so much technology. I think we can survive without a lot of it. I think, technology has made things comfortable, but I think we're getting to a level where it's extinction, and to some point. And I don't know, I just miss things from that were older, that were more simple, where things move slower, where we had more human connections, where we're out day to day, and we seem to have less anxiety as well.
I wanted to point out that when you were talking about Alien or whatever, my mind went to the stuff he did that was part of that franchise, which was Prometheus, and David was the android, and that was the he made him in the image of David, right? And there was that type of android, and that was a straight up android. And so when you said that, that's why my mind went there, because that's part of the Alien franchise.
Right.
instead of like the Philip K. Dick stuff. But there's also so much of this everywhere. There's so many. It's like all over. It's almost ubiquitous now. It's around us in all the sci-fi stuff. It's everywhere because they have been prepping us for it all along. And I do
Mm-hmm.
think ultimately in whatever disclosure is, this is in the mix.
Yeah. So I feel like they're pushing us towards a digital synthetic soul of America, and I don't like it. So Incognito says, isn't there a Sun Tzu quote that says, don't interrupt your enemy while they are making mistakes? Let Trump and Elon fuck up, but make sure they are called on it.
Well, for me, I'm just watching. I'm watching. I mean, right now it's better than it was
Yes.
a week ago. So,
Right.
and then all that ridiculous fuckery with the last pardons, and I mean, oh my God, this stuff has been so crazy. So, like I said, I feel like we got an opportunity to take a breather. We can't stop the wheel.
Uh-huh.
Really, that big wheel out there that's turning. I think that that's one of the things, and this ultimately does come down to a personal internal process, just like your own mortality is, even though we don't die.
Silo said something really interesting that I think we may not be able to get off, but we can slow how time goes by and how this stuff goes by for us. And I just want to highlight this out. Silo said, I popped in tonight for Nish and Jer, but I haven't been following any of this for months. Life has been great because I'm back out in the world having real experiences.
Who is that?
Silo.
Well, that's excellent, and I'm glad that you haven't been affected by any of the stuff going on. I definitely, rock on. And if that's working, that's excellent, and nobody can hate on that. Absolutely not. So this is part of. I'm not sure. This is why I, in my own show, I never have focused on the Russia-Ukraine thing. I've never focused on the Israeli Palestinian thing. I really am focusing on more of the deeper esoteric stuff and the higher strange and the deeper woo. But I do keep my finger on the pulse of it all. And I do look in the dark, and I do want to know what's going on. I want to see what the zeitgeist is chewing on. I want to see all that because I'm curious. And I'm curious how this plays out. I'm curious how this is written. And there have been so many twists and turns that if you step back far enough, it's a very interesting journey. And for that, I think it's awesome. Are there hard lines in the sand for me? Absolutely. And there have been many, and I've got hard lines in the sand. I'm not having a lot, but I don't obsess. Let me put it that way. But I can say there has been a lot that has fucked up my world. The chemtrails fuck up my world. The water that comes down from the chemtrails fuck up my world. The fact that they're poisoning our food at the market fucks up my world. What they're doing to the water is fucking up my world. Shit like that. Pardon my French. I am so potty mouthed tonight. That stuff bothers me. Bill Gates releasing crazy mosquitoes everywhere is fucking up my world. And ticks and putting, vaccinating everything on the planet is fucking up my world. And this is all a problem. I don't know how that's, I don't know how to reconcile that. And I never will get trust back in anyone in authority. It will never come back. I never had it to begin with. I went with it. I've tried to be wide-eyed and trusting.
You try to be part of it.
Yeah, since I was a little kid, right there in my icon, you could see I'm not very happy. And I'm like, 4 or 5 or
You
something there.
know, you knew.
I knew I'm just like not the happy little kid. And so it is something that is affecting us all one way or another. And that's the thing that bothers me. Do I wake up every day in my own little I love where I live. I love my cottage. I love my animals. I love all that and I relish in it. I was just talking about this today with a friend. But I'm like, what do I need to grow food in my yard now? Like I want proper tomatoes and I want proper this and that, and we're hearing all this crazy stuff and we're seeing all this crazy stuff, and people around me are testing the rain, and the rain has nasty stuff and it has nanotechnology in it for real that's getting into my food that I'm eating, that's scaling inside of me. I just talked to Dr. Anna, I can't think of her name right now, whatever, I can't, it'll be out. And
Mahalcia?
yeah, thank you.
Really?
Yeah, you don't like her, Jer?
I have questions.
Anyway, so but they're taking the stuff they're doing is interesting because they're taking samples of water and they're following through with these samples. They're taking samples of blood and they're following through, and they're, we're looking at this stuff. And of course I've had Harold Kotz on, and I have all these people that are doing diagnostics in the world that I don't think are scumbags. And the thing is, everything in the world right now seems to be poisonous towards us. How's that not affecting me? And that's the thing that's bothersome in the world we're living in right now. I'm also noticing the level of crazy in people outside in the world. There are so many people seem to be functioning at a very low level. Of course, I have high strange involved with that. I don't think that they're humans. I think people are turning. I have all the deep blue and high strange plugged into that. And
Of
I
course.
see, and of course, I'm a pattern collector, so I see patterns. I'm
Yes.
collecting patterns. I also am deeply intuitive. I mean, I was telling people to watch out for the fog this summer, and to watch out for the black mosquitoes and purple skies, 2 moons, drones falling out of the sky. All this stuff's come to pass, and I have to wonder, where's this all going? Why is it happening? And the thing that is going on is, I know people in North Carolina that are suffering. I still know people are dead that I don't know where they are. Same with in LA, in the LA fires. I've got 2 boyfriends. One of my boyfriends, I can't get a hold of his mother.
Do you have are they boyfriends at the same time, or?
No, I'd never jump with a girl like that.
I'm
But
just teasing.
but my point of being is, it's not just stuff on the internet, it's personal. And I
Yes.
know this for a fact because I can't I can't reach these people, and the people that we know in common can't reach these people. This is affecting those people. I know a lot of people that are saying, and here's the high strange, I have an ex-boyfriend in Long Beach who says there's nothing going on. And then there's on the internet, there's people saying there was no fire in LA. And there's people saying there is. And so then I have this Long Beach boyfriend saying there ain't nothing going on. And I'm like, are you serious? So
What's
do we
going
believe?
on?
Are timelines slipping? Are we looping? Is this Fringe? Is this Westworld? What's going on? And that's where I'm chasing the high strange, because it seems like by intention, we are not finding a thread of continuity with each other. And that's the most, I think, frightening aspect here.
Well, I think that's sort of what can happen when we're all, I don't know if it's about thought. Like, if we all are thinking different things and we're not unified in our thought, do we all have different realities or timelines? Or is there something that the powers that be that are doing, messing around? I know Hadron Collider, Stargates, I don't know. They're messing around with things that sort of make different timelines, that people are having different experiences. I'm not sure, or a combination of both.
What if it's the frequency soup that we're in?
And
Well,
what do
Jerry,
you
see,
mean by frequency soup?
and
The
that's
fre-
a big deal. That's a
yeah,
like
I mean, what if
get on
that's
it, Jerry.
disconnecting us? So if I mean, what you're talking about basically is consensus reality, right?
Right, right.
And if there is no consensus, then there are multiple reality bubbles. I'm assuming that would be the outcome. So if we're all have been disconnected by frequencies through whatever mechanism, then that makes sense that there would
Yeah.
exist different consensus realities.
Right. And isn't that the point of alternate reality and virtual reality? We experience things differently.
Yeah.
Well, and what I'm saying too is with the people that are saying that, like here in the Portland area, and you remember this, Jerry, like everyone remembers this. Portland's on fire with all the protesting and all that, and it was just like a few blocks right downtown, and I kept saying it's just a few blocks, like the whole city is not burning. And so when I'm hearing people say, well, the Hollywood sign's not on fire, and
It
and
wasn't.
then I didn't see any evidence
That
to
was
that.
that was AI photos that were
Yes.
going around about
Right,
that.
right. That all came. I'm just using that as an example. So there are people saying, but there were a bunch of people that said, "Oh my God, yeah, it is on fire," that lived there. And I'm
Wow.
like, who in the hell do you believe now? And then, and Jerry, you just said it, or Melissa, you just said, the thing is, augmented reality and the layer of technology that's there is so good now. It's indistinguishable.
It is.
And I follow these accounts on Instagram where it's just nerds that deal with furthering AI and all this stuff. It's so good that it really it's we what can we trust? We've been saying that all along, but now it's like indistinguishable. It's not
Right.
like the fingers fuck up now. They've got the fingers and the hair down, people. And so and it's not just fun little memes where you can just throw somebody into a scene and they're doing their thing. It's all looking very, very more human than human.
So we got a comment. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
AI image generation has escaped the uncanny valley.
It has, Jerry. It's like
That's the
so
way to
real.
put it.
It's in our faces.
Yeah.
And that's why it's hard to trust anything that we're seeing now.
I agree.
Because
Yeah.
and it was always hard to trust because we were getting fucked with, but now you can't make a case for it because it's like what? And so if you've got mother effers out there agreeing with it and telling you that or they're just trolls saying, oh man, this is right, the sign is on fire,
Right.
you've got this great image,
And there's all
what are
this
you
AI out
supposed to
there.
believe unless
Yeah.
you're standing there? And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
This kind of meshing of worlds is becoming very confusing, and it can create a depression in oneself. It's a crisis of
Yeah,
consciousness.
because it's like cognitive dissonance and everything, and you don't know what's what. It's like the rug's been pulled from under your feet because you
can't
don't
trust
know how to
anything.
sort reality.
Yeah.
Reality rug pull.
Pat Bree says, if frequencies can control our perception, imagine if there was a device that put out frequencies that would give us all different perspectives. Did I mention I've got some towers by me?
Yeah.
It's possible. And then Woo Woo Go There says the digital twin story showed that. Niche, they showed a digital version next to actual footage, and it was almost indistinguishable.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. How do we navigate this territory now? And the problem is everyone will take something and run with it, and just like Jerry trying to say this was proven to be wrong, but if once the zeitgeist gets it, they create it.
And they
They're
spread it
creating
out really
the
quickly.
whole
Yeah.
egregore, tulpa, whatever you want to. They've got it in there, and so it doesn't matter. It's then a seed in the mind. It's an image in the mind.
Yeah.
It's living in your mind.
You've
And in
absorbed it. It never
neuroscience,
goes away.
it's
It's a
like a
mind virus.
jingle. Mint snuff, good stuff. You know, it's like a jingle you can't get out. Like that jingle right now, I can't get out of my head. I knew when I first heard it. I'm like, oh God, don't play, don't play, don't play. And then there it was. And in neuroscience, you know, they call those earworms. And this is well thought out technology that is designed to, I don't know what its actual, I don't want to say
I think
designed, but it's being used against us. That's what I want to
yes.
say.
Well, I think it prevents us from connecting with the real higher source. It fucks up our psychic power, and it prevents us from actually connecting with the creative source in the universe. I think it just stalls that, and it puts us into a fake matrix of information. And I think that's what it does. That's just my own opinion. I'm really blunt and to the point. I don't really elaborate about it, but it's why I think it started. It's just built with all sorts of technology. Sorry, guys. That's really pulling our minds towards something other than quiet, silent, solace time. I mean, that's what religion and prayer and having time, quiet time was supposed to be about. It's taking our mind somewhere else. And I always have to remind myself, put the phone down, put this stuff. I didn't watch the inauguration on the day. I was like, there was too much energy and people going towards it. I said, this is quiet time where you have to go and reflect on something else and not be where all the hive mind is, because it's too much. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I think that's the point of meditation and everything.
I heard, so Carrie, I don't know if she's out there, but Carrie said this. I had too much stuff going on. I was recording and all this. I could not make it happen, and I was going to. But Carrie out there said she did not want to watch it, but it kind of ended up being on where she was, and she didn't want to watch it. She's very vocal about all that, and she got it's like it sucked her in, and that's exactly what it does. And that, you know, and Lalita talks about this too. It is hooking us like an earworm in neuroscience, and we become somehow entrained by it. It's like that old cobra dance, right? Bring on Salome and the cobra.
It's
And
not where the real magic in God or whatever you want to call it is.
Mesmerism, hypnotism. I mean, we can go back to the old words for it. And that's the thing. And this is the thing I don't like. And why is it? Why does the technology have to be used against us in this way? That's the real question I have. Because I'm not anti-technology, but they are weaponizing everything against us. They are working against us. And this is the reality of it. It's very obvious. It's clear. It's clear that they're using it against us.
They are. Well, I'm going to start tying this show up. We've been close to 2.5 hours. You guys are amazing. And I love to listen to Niish talk. So you'll have to come back again, because we always go to strange and amazing places when you come on. But I'm going to end this up with the comment from Silo. Is, what do you think we should expect in 2025?
Expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected.
I don't know
one expects
what
the
we
Spanish Inquisition.
It's like what David Bowie said in that one of the last things before he died. He's like, I don't know what it is going to be, but it's going to be interesting.
Yes.
We are in epic time. We are in epic times. I don't know if I should be happy to be alive now, or I should be like, damn, why did I choose to come here at this time?
No,
I'm not sure.
Revel in your life, in the light within you, Melissa, and everyone. Revel in it, and remember the spirit. Your spirit. You are always on your side. The voices that tell you anything else is not you. It's not you. You're not too fat.
Mhm.
You're not too thin. You're not this. It's these
Yeah,
people
yeah,
over
yeah.
here. That's not your voice. Your voice loves you. You love you. The thing in you that's
It's
your
so
light
true.
loves you. And people need to understand that the rest of it is a voice. It was either manipulated because of the social construct we're in through
Sometimes your
advertising.
parents say it
Right, but that's not
because they
you.
had it said to them. Yeah.
But you love yourself at the core, and that's something to remember, and use that as your North Star, as your pole star. And
Oh, I love it.
because it's so obvious, and so that's the thing, because I'm hearing people really cave in to to these voices, and it's not your voice. Rebuke it, take it out, tell it's not you. And that's all I want to say about that.
It's true. Because we all have that voice, and we never had it when we were probably babies. But my goodness, I can't do an after show. I gotta go. But well, I'll have Niish and Jer on again, maybe February or something. We'll do more of these shows. It was a couple of months since I had you guys on. We had a whole bunch of kerfuffle and trauma and all that stuff that happened, but my life has been very peaceful now. It's been amazing, great show, and I'm so glad you guys came back on. I love having conversations with you, and I love that you reminded us of a positive note to end on, Niish, where we love ourselves. The real you loves yourself. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jerry and Melissa. And, I'm always here to come on with you too. Jerry and I have been married for years. And so we're like, I mean, even though we're not, we are still like the internet couple. So, we're always together. And I want to thank everyone that tuned in and came here and showed up, because this
thank
does
you.
bring me joy talking with the two of you and just getting real. We're all just taking our clothes off and dancing.
And where can they find you on the internet, Niish? Because you do the Cosmic Salon, and Jer and you did the Obelisk together. So where can they find you both if they want to
Whenever
check you out?
Jerry books someone at the Obelisk, we show up there, and obviously
Yes.
people were showing up, and we keep it casual. We don't really, if something books, we book it. And me, just the cosmicsalon.com should get you anywhere you want to go. I want to make a note here. The socials are Meredith. I love you, Meredith, out there. She runs the socials. So if you're trying to leave me personal notes, it's not me, it's Meredith. And just know that. And she also books the show. And if you're contacting through the show, you're talking to Meredith, not me. I am not necessarily so easy to get a hold of, because it just needs to be that way.
Excellent. And of course, what is it? Everythingisdemons.com, Jer?
Everythingisdemons.com. We'll take you to
Everythingisdemons.com. All right, guys. I'm going to pop this off. Thank you, guys. Please go to genxonx.com. All the links are there. Please subscribe to a live stream. You can also catch this podcast on an audio version. It's available all across most platforms. So remember, genxonx.com. All the links to subscribe are there. I won't keep you guys much longer. Have a great one. Happy birthday to my husband once again, guys. And we'll play this little video, and cheers.